I was thinking, people say this all the time, so now what? I've been doing what I've been doing for, decades. It's what I have to do. Now, when do I get a chance to do what I want to do?
Well, and that's what we do here at Omega Wealth Private Capital. We help you get from the I have to's to, wow, I get to.
I'm Brad Johansson.
And I'm Joe Wilson, and welcome to another edition of Wise Money.
So glad you are back with us on Wise Money. Brad Johansson with the man, the myth, the legend, Joe Wilson III. Omega Wealth Private Capital.
See, you got the suit memo. We're
going pins.
Blue.
I'm going thin, you're going wide.
Is that a fat joke, Johansson? I think you just made a fat joke.
No. We make assumptions. Do not make assumptions. That may lead me into the show today.
Well,
do not make assumptions that all advisors are the same. Grateful that you're with us. We always say that because so many of you have now made Wise Money kind of appointment TV, which is a great thing.
It's our 130th episode. Isn't that wild?
130 episodes of Wise Money.
Yeah, thanks for watching.
Yeah, so we're grateful that you keep us, what do we get, renewed? Does that mean if we've got 130 episodes, we continue to get renewed on Wise Money? I want to go back to the assumption that all advisors are the same, because we talk about this in meetings constantly with people who are coming into the office, people that we're talking to, people at seminars, that accumulation advisors, Joe, are the same as what we do at Omega Wealth. Why is that a bad assumption? I just want to kind of set foundation, because we talk about foundation all the time. Foundation for why this is not the same.
Well, we talk about this all the time. You're right. And folks, I think for those of you that have been watching, I started in the wirehouses. And it was a wonderful career, amazing friends still there. The fact is that there is a mission to grow the wealth. And I think that's what we have to have. I mean, inflation costs more. The long time in the market is imperative. Money will grow. The issue is we focus very intently and on purpose to those folks in that mid-50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s, that pre-retirement, retirement, and just after retirement, because it is so different. And I agree with you, not all advice is the same. You need growth money, but you need to have money set aside for distribution, because in many times, the advice that you're getting, that might be good 10 to 15 years down the road, but what happens if in the short term? I'll start with this. A great story. Thanksgiving a few years, my wife is Angela's from Massillon. We went up there to visit. Right. And my sister-in-law, Tiffany, is an amazing cook, and she's great at making pies.
You've talked about how...
She made this pie, and pumpkin pie for me is just... That's it? I mean, the type 1 diabetic, but I can go to town on a pumpkin pie, especially Tiff's. So we go to get her pumpkin pie, and I take a big old bite, and I'm like, man, this tastes awful, like awful.
Which is very unusual for Tiffany.
Highly unusual, highly unusual.
All right.
And so my wife takes a bite, and I looked over at my father-in-law, and he took a bite, and we're all going. Here's what we realized, and Tiffany quickly realized. There's two very important ingredients in the kitchen.
Salt and sugar.
Salt and sugar. They look very much the same. I was to pour that out, and you couldn't see it, but sugar and salt, it looks very similar. Tiffany, in her mistake and rush, didn't grab this can when she was making the pumpkin pie. She grabbed this can. My mother recently, my God, Mama Connie, Mom and Papa Dose, we call them, Joseph R. Wilson, they watch every week, love you, smooch, smooch. She's an amazing cook. Dad said not too long ago, she made some meatloaf. Mama Connie can make a meatloaf now, man. Covers that in bacon. It is good, Joe. We got to go over there and have for lunch.
The meatloaf, yeah. The meatloaf. I got you, okay.
What's funny is Dad was telling me he was so excited he got into it. And when Mom will sprinkle a little sugar on the top, just it's bacon, kind of get that caramelization.
Oh, yeah.
But she didn't use salt. She used the opposite. She used sugar. Just as that example is with my mom and the meatloaf, coated with sugar inside, or pumpkin pie full of this. What we're seeing on a weekly basis for many of you that are watching this television show is they're coming in and we're doing portfolio x-rays and we're looking and seeing what's inside these portfolios. And what's alarming, Bijo, is so many times we're seeing such overlap because the market has grown so quickly. It's been an amazing time in the market.
Sure.
But 8 companies are really concentrating that risk. There is hidden risk. And what's unfortunate is a lot of folks we're seeing getting ready to go into retirement. And you might have a portfolio that isn't balanced out. It is all salt or it is all sugar. And the issue is when it comes time to eat that retirement pie, are you sure you're in a position that you've got the right advice and the right ingredients? We're seeing folks with overlap where 30 and 40% of their portfolio is in 4 names. That is danger, danger, danger. We got to talk about it.
I want to talk about the last meeting that you and I were in together with someone who had come in and is already in retirement and working with an advisor and looking for a second opinion as they're trying to move forward.
Had done a great job.
Done a really good job. And yet, when have you talked to your advisor? I don't do it very often. Do you know what you have? And I remember you laying out, as you love to say, the Department of Redundancy department
yes.
within his portfolio. Explain how the mutual funds and those big 8 companies can play into the lack of diversification within a portfolio.
Yeah, we're seeing this on a regular basis. It's one of the things we love. Our team will do this. We'll help break down, and you're going to get an opportunity. In fact, you can scan the QR code and set up a time right now. We're doing this for everyone that watches this show. Our team will run a report, and it'll show you exactly how many times you're owning certain companies. And what we are seeing is dangerous, in my opinion, because there's such a concentration in the market and so many folks getting ready to retire who have just retired. It's been wonderful, but you've won the game. In many cases, the assets are there.
Yeah.
The worry is, will they stay there to allow you that retirement for 20, 30 years? We do this X-ray report. He was owning the same companies, paying a fee with these mutual funds and these ETFs from an accumulation advisor, and they're good companies. They should be in the portfolio. We use them in our portfolio.
Absolutely.
However, he was owning them at 10, 11, and 12 times, paying an exorbitant amount of fees for that, sitting on buried risk. And the truth is, he wanted sugar, and the reality is there was a lot of salt being added in there. It is a recipe for disaster because good markets can shift on a dime. And yes, they will tend to come back, but when you start to take that money out, that can be absolutely tragic.
He had come into our office after reading the book. He said, stayed up all night.
This book.
Read the book. So talk to me about the book and why that was in particular something that drove him to the office.
The very beginning of this book. In fact, we're going to give it away for free. Randy, if you will, you put that code up there. If you want a copy of this, I will mail it to you. I'll send it to you. We're sending out hundreds of these a week to folks. Right off the bat, I tell a story in the Great Financial Crisis since 2009. And I've told it many times on this TV show. A gentleman came up to us and was just in tears, had most of his assets in one company, and it had done very, very well. In fact, he was getting ready to retire. But in that 1 year of that time frame when he came to us with tears at the end, he said, I need help. My $2+ million has gone down to about $250,000 because it was so concentrated. I don't think that could happen. I hope it never happens in our lifetime, that we have that type of recession. But when we look at the concentrated risk, and we're looking at good Midwestern folks that have worked hard and your accounts are doing well, make sure you're getting the right advice. Make sure that it's just not, let's keep this go, 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 go. We need growth, but you have to segment part of your dollars out that'll allow you to get income when the market's down or when it corrects. And my goodness, Bijo, no one's talking about this.
5 agreements to be and stay retirement ready. Scan the QR code. I want you to do this now. It has been immensely popular for people just in education, which is what we're here for first. The 5 agreements to be and stay retirement ready. It is a very quick read. As I said, one of our clients, and many of them say this, I just read this last night before I came into the appointment because I wanted to have a basis of knowledge. This will give you that understanding. We want to educate you so you know what you have. Scan the QR code, and then if it is your desire, call the number on your screen so that you can set up an appointment wherever you may be. whether that be in Cincinnati, in Kentucky, in Dayton, in Indianapolis, we'd love to help you be and stay retirement ready with a complimentary retirement readiness review. So much to talk about on Wise Money. Glad you're with us. Back after this. There's a retirement tax trap that not too many people are talking about. Want to learn about it? We'll share on Wise Money next. Sammy the Duck. He's cute, but he's greedy. He always wants your tax money. Every April 15th, you pay it. You think you're done, and he keeps coming back. Every year you pay, and Sammy still wants more. But in retirement, you're supposed to pay less taxes, right? I'm done with this? No. Sammy still wants more. At Omega Wealth Private Capital, we have tax strategies to help you pay less taxes. Keep more of it in your pocket. And instead of going this way, Sammy goes this way, and you're done paying taxes. Wouldn't you like to have more money in your pocket? Give us a call at Omega Wealth Private Capital. Let us do some tax strategies of our own without Sammy in it.
Do you remember the fun game of Battleship where your friend calls out B12, miss, and then B13, hit, you sank my battleship. Battleship's a fun game, but in retirement, that kind of guessing can absolutely sink you. Too many people are treating retirement like just calling out random coordinates, hoping that they hit something. But what about the defense? Could you just be 1 or 2 coordinates away from your battleship, your retirement being sunk? You cannot retire on luck. You have to retire on income. And I cover that in my book, The 5 Agreements to Be and Stay Retirement Ready. You need to develop a plan that provides an income engine, a place for you to get money when things are not always going good in the markets. Retirement isn't about guessing your way across the board. It's about creating an income engine that pays you constantly, even when life fires back. Don't play Battleship with your future. Make sure your plan is able to withstand those dreaded hits. It's only going to take 3 minutes. I want you to go to owquiz.com. It's going to give you an idea of where you're standing right now on your battleship journey so you can be and stay retirement ready.
Glad you're with us on Wise Money. I hate that you talk about defense. Well, you're talking battleship, but defense with this. If you're a Bengals fan, defense. If you're a Colts fan, okay, defense.
Yeah, not bad.
Bengals score 38 plus 2 consecutive weeks.
39. I think Indy scored 39 the same Sunday. One wins, one loses.
Defense. So the idea is getting back to even, because we've got an offense and we've got a defense. Lead me through getting back to even in the understanding of why that defense makes sense and trying to figure out how I'm going to put this in defense when I'm moving from accumulation to distribution.
Well, this goes right back to what we're talking about. Not all advice, even though it looks the same, isn't the same. And the truth is, defense does matter greatly when you are in that distribution, that retirement stage. You're taking money out. For years when you were accumulating and the market was down, you were buying into that. But it's very different on the way out, because when the market's down and you're selling that to go feed your family and take your trips, you have to understand the volatility and the impact it'll have on you and longevity of staying retired. Let me give you some numbers. A 10% correction, you need 11% to get back to even. Well, that makes sense. It's not terrible. All right. We get regularly 10% corrections in the market quite often.
Sure.
20% decline, 20% decline. Now we're talking a little bit different. This is without taking money out. We have to get 25% to get back to even. Here's where it gets scary, in my opinion. A 30% decline. And when you look at where we are, for you techie nerds out there, we don't like to talk jargon, but PE ratio of the S&P 500, the expense, where things are, we're hitting record highs after time. I love that. And that's what will continue to happen. But when you are entering the distribution phase, you need to understand how this will impact you going forward. A 30% decline in the market, you will need 42 0.86% to get back to even. Not all advice is the same. You need to understand where you should have offense in your portfolio, but you better have a place for defense to get money when bad markets come. We cover that in the book. We preach it day in and day out because it's the number one area we're seeing people failing when it comes to retirement. They're coming in and they're going, we saw it all the time in 22. I mean, 22 is just a good old normal market correction. And we have folks off this show call and be like, what is happening right now? I'm worried. Should I take out less? Hey, it's going to affect my vacation. What do I do? You have to understand defense when it comes to retirement planning.
Do you understand defense? Is it in your portfolio? Is it in your plan? Is it in your 5 agreements? I offer this again because it has been the most important thing for people to get an understanding. And education is what you want the 5 agreements to be and stay retirement ready. It is Joe's book. It costs you nothing. We'll send it out to you. You can read and we can set an appointment for you to be and stay retirement ready. Scan the QR code on your screen. I'm going to sit for a moment.
What is the number one fear around those entering retirement and just having retired? What is it?
The number one fear is that you're going to run out of money before you die.
We have a window right now where there's some amazing tools where we can disinherit the IRS from that pot of money. So many times you've been saving and doing things, and that might be the right tool for that season. So when's the best time to prepare for rain? When it's sunny out.
When it's sunny.
You don't wait till it's storming. 2001, 2002, 2020. We go back through here the last couple of decades. There's going to be bad times in the market. Well, where do you go to get your income? Your retirement cannot sustain that. The only way those work out is if you retire and there are several good years right after you walk out of the office. You have to control what you can control, and you cannot control what happens in the markets. You get one shot at retirement, and if you're missing one of these agreements, that can crush you. You cannot go into distribution years with the same tools and hope. That's not a plan. You have saved your whole life for retirement, but the question you need to be asking right now is, how much of that will you actually get to keep? If your money's in a traditional IRA or 401k, maybe you're 403b or government worker, 457, you have a partner in every dollar of that money, and that is Uncle Sam. Every time you take money out of those accounts, it's going to be taxable. With tax rates potentially rising in the future, the cost of doing nothing could be significant. A Roth conversion could offer a chance to reduce that future tax exposure. The question you should be asking is, what could your future tax exposure look like, and does it make sense for you to do a Roth conversion? I want you to scan the QR code or visit owrothquiz.com. Take a few minutes to take our Roth conversion quiz. Why don't you find out if a Roth conversion could put you and your family in a better position so you can be and stay retirement ready?
Glad you're with us on Wise Money. Brad Johansen along with Joe Wilson III. I'm now reminded as I go into this of the new, can I say Alexa? The new Alexa commercial with Pete Davidson. You haven't seen it, have you?
What are you talking about?
Pete Davidson goes into a commercial. He goes, I don't want to be Pete Davidson anymore.
Oh, yeah.
And then he gets to the PP, and she goes, you want to be known as PP? I want to go into a PP segment.
Okay.
Purpose determines placement.
Yes, it does.
The idea of, okay, is this where I want it? Is this why I want it? Why do we harp on purpose determines placement for our money now in
every
retirement?
dollar, every single dollar that you have accumulated over 30, 40 years of work needs a specific job to do. That's how we view it here. So many times, and this is why we have this out here, advice sometimes can be different. It's not just grow, 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 grow. You need money to grow. You need that. It's important in every recipe. But you also need a place to get income. There's 3 types of income, and I want you to understand this because that's what retirement about. Income is the outcome. You're getting income. Yeah. Number 1, where are you getting your guaranteed income? When to take Social Security? What does that look like? Maybe you have a pension. What type of pension do you get? How does it work with survivor benefits? Maybe you have an old annuity or you have some annuity that's going to promise you guaranteed income to help fill that gap. That's important. It's a baseline to cover the necessities. You then have flexible income. Well, where are you going to get that? A lot of the traditional ideas of saving in retirement, maybe it's an IRA, it's a 401k, it's a brokerage account where there's dividends and there is bond interest. That is coming in. A lot of times we're seeing folks say, well, that's where I'm going to get my income. The issue with that, now we love that. I love that. The issue is sometimes it's not always constant. I mean, my goodness, just look up Walgreens and see what happened to that dividend king for 90 plus years and it's gone. The final is supplemental income, because no one retired just to sit in your basement and watch John Wayne's. Sounds like a great idea to me. But if you want to travel, you want to see things, you need capital to do that. Where are you going to get that income? All three of those buckets need to be managed significantly differently, because volatility has a major effect on all three of those. It's why purpose of the dollars determines the placement. Too many folks are putting it all together like you did in your accumulation years and saying, well, I hope this market continues to run. It's not.
This is why the book is sitting on the set today. 5 agreements to be and stay retirement ready. Scan the QR code. The idea is purpose determines placement of what? Income, investments and volatility, asset preservation. How do we deal with a tax bomb? And do we want to leave a legacy? Or do we want our legacy plan to make sure that we're knowing where the money is going? This is your book for free. Joe put it together. 5 agreements to be and stay retirement ready. Literally thousands of books have been distributed. If you'd like one, scan the QR code. I want to talk about something else that is important to what you finish. First, I got to take a break here on Wise Money.
I remember on Friday nights growing up, our friends, we would go to the arcade playing the amazing Pac-Man game. The question for you, the modern retiree, are you just out there chasing dots and hoping to get as many as you can before the dreaded ghost catch you? Pac-Man is a fun game, but in retirement, that approach can absolutely eat you alive. A lot of people just head into retirement thinking, if I can keep moving and just dodging this bullet, I'm going to be fine. But what about those big risks that sneak up on you like those ghosts? Taxes, market crashes, healthcare crisis. One wrong turn and chomp. They can take a massive bite out of what you've spent decades building. That's why every retirement needs an asset preservation plan. What happens if the market goes through a 2000, 2001, 2002? What happens if there is a healthcare crisis that affects you? Maybe some of the worst times possible in retirement. You get one shot at retirement. Stop chasing dots. Stop hoping that these ghosts just won't catch you. Let's see if your plan is ready to protect you. It's only going to take 3 minutes. I want you to go to owquiz.com and you're going to find out real quickly where you stand in this whole game so you can be and stay retirement ready.
Grateful you're with us on Wise Money. Brad Johansen, Joe Wilson III. We're talking about getting you ready. Sugar and spice and everything nice. Salt and sugar, they look the same. They're different. Advisors may look the same. They are different. We do the seminars all across the tri-state. You can go to OW Private Capital to find out where our schedule is if you haven't seen them. We're on social media. We say this at the very beginning of every seminar. What is the number one fear of the retirees? And now it is almost in unison response. Our fear is running out of money. What are the 3 problems in our fear that we don't address?
Well, I think there's 3, the most common ways, I guess, would make sense that we should address, because we hear this question often. Man, I'm worried about running out of money. Number 1, it's not having a spending plan and people spending too much. We're all adults. We can fix that. I think the issue is if you're not planning for even just the common reality of inflation. Even though we're hearing that inflation is coming down, when you look at the impact between 2020 and today, it's 25% more expensive to live today than it was back in 2020 and growing. So are you using the right inflation number? That's an area where things get out of control. Spending too much on family, spending too much on the kids that need help, spending not having a spending plan, number 1. Number 2, we're seeing this more and more from folks coming off the show, and that's a medical wipeout.
Yeah.
I mean a wipeout. You recently just had an accident that sidelined you for about 8 weeks.
Yeah.
It wasn't a wipeout.
Well, but it may be a year before I come back, and I will come back, but a year's a long time.
But imagine if you put 20 years on you and you had that accident. are you able to rebound as quickly? Are you having to spend time in a facility that outlasts just what Medicare is willing to provide, which means then you have to spend that money out of your retirement accounts. Medical wipeouts is probably one of the second biggest concerns, I think, for folks. And number three, this is tough because you can do everything right. And if you're not planning accordingly and you're not understanding the advice, sequence of return risk. When you realize the impact that can happen in the markets at a drop, a snap of a finger, and how it will affect your retirement, sequence of return risk is real. And you might have saved $1 million and you've got the greatest income plan. But if it's all subject and it's all being put into grow in the market, you don't realize the impact that can have on you. You have to segment some of those dollars and saying, this is my income money. This is my growth money. If you're not, boy, you're gambling.
Well, see, we're trying to do the right thing. But what do you say about the right thing all the time? If I do the right thing at the wrong time, can
be the wrong thing.
So the idea is creating a recipe that's actually going to work. Tell me your favorite thing within this, in the 5 agreements, that leads us to some of this looks alike, but it's very different, and why we are different.
Yeah, I break this down in this book, and I wrote this book for you. It is a book designed to just keep the jargon out. We even put a glossary of terms that if we have in there, so you can kind of understand.
Simplify.
But there are 5 areas that you must have in your retirement planning, and if you're missing one, it's going to cost you. You must have an income engine. You must have active tax planning because it's not what you have, it's what you get to keep. You have to have an asset preservation plan. Keeps you from that medical wipeout, if you will, or the sequence of return risk. You better have an investment plan. Understand your overlap and your hidden risk. My goodness, are we seeing this?
See, I talk in seminars all the time about legacy as you get to the 5th one where I say, are you all on a ski plan, which is spend kids' inheritance? Or are you going to try and figure out something else that's better?
Yeah, I think for many it's the ski because the truth is they're worried about running out of money, and you don't have to. You get one shot at retirement, and it is a plan. It's what we focus on. It's what we specialize in. You get one shot. I want you to get this book. I want you to call, scan that QR code, set up a time to come in and talk with one of our amazing advisors that'll help you be and stay retirement ready. I want to thank you for watching. Watch us again next week. Bijo, you're looking snaggy.
From tax time bombs to Social Security insecurities, strategic investments that help clean up your junk drawer and keep your income engine running smoothly at Omega Wealth Private Capital. We're fiduciary, independent, holistic wealth advisors, and we're here to turn your have-tos into get-tos. So, would you like your retirement dreams to move from good to great? Give us a call. It's what we do, because we really want to. Thanks so much for joining us. Hope to see you in the office. Until then, I'm Brad Johansson. We'll see you next time on Wise Money.